it's one of those films I feel like you can watch at different stages in your life. Like you're a kid, in your teens, 20s, 30s, blah, blah, blah. It's really interesting. And I feel like you can really go back to it and learn, take in something new, which is always good.
Welcome back to Popcorn Chatter.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Anica. Sit back, relax, and grab some snacks.
Listen and hopefully laugh at us as we begin the sole episode of Popcorn Chatter.
For this episode, we are especially happy to welcome back one Miss Nala Chincuanco.
Hello, hello. Long time listener, second time speaker. Thank you again for having me. Long time no see. Just very
Is it
excited.
really?
No, I am just very excited to
Oh yes.
join in on this episode. I had to ask, can I join? Because it's a very exciting episode. Yeah.
Oh yes. Me and Nala have talked about soul even outside of the podcast for so long. So it's of course when I thought of soul as how do I say this?
An episode.
A special episode for May because May is in fact, if no one is aware yet, May is Mental Health Awareness Month in other countries, and I know in the Philippines we're also kind of celebrating it, or at least for the mental health organizations that I follow. Yeah, it's a whole thing, and I'm happy to do a little bit for the Mental Health Awareness Month. So yeah, of course, I proposed soul, and I thought, you know what? I know someone who loves soul as much as I do. So it's like, Nala, how about a second episode?
Second
And I
collab, let's
said
go.
yes.
Yeah. No,
So,
yeah, maybe it's not the last one. We'll see. We'll see.
All right. So let's
Okay.
get started. If
Yeah.
anyone hasn't seen Soul, spoiler alert, we'll talk about almost everything that happened in the movie.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going through like a whole breakdown of it. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. Stop here, go watch it. But yeah, if you have watched it, Soul is just a recap of what it is. Soul was released in December 2020. It follows the story of Joe, a part-time middle school band teacher who dreams of making it big in the jazz world. But um, just about he was gonna get his big break, he gets into an accident, and he's trying to find his way back. Yeah. So before we get into everything, what did you guys think of like the movie? Just like an initial or a final thoughts overall thing.
Oh, who wants to go first? I guess like I can go first because I'm the
Yeah.
one who watched it super recently lang.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. As I mentioned, I watched this movie because of this podcast. But I was already planning to watch it before. But I was like, you know what, it's time. So I've heard like a lot of good things about it, and going into it, I was expecting good things, and I was really surprised, and sometimes even like I was like blown away by how good it was. Like I knew it was good, but like I didn't expect it to be like consistent all throughout the film. Just the story, the animation, the characters, everything else, the music. It's really it's great. And what was the question? Like just how we thought, how we viewed the movie.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
Initial thought.
I guess that's it. Like it's really up there, like in terms of my favorite animation films of all time.
Fine.
Yeah. What about you guys?
How about Nala? You can go next.
It was a movie that we all kind of needed, probably. Or I think that anyone in their life would probably enjoy watching it. And like a kid or a teen or someone in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s would find some takeaway in that. And I think it's really good because it came to me when I needed it. And I think it came to everyone at the time that they needed it. So it's really good. Funny, great lighting, great music, great comedy. I love it for Tina Fey and Amy Poehler that they were both in like the same universe made, and they get to like voice out annoying, like cute, annoying, funny characters, which is great for me.
Yeah,
What about you,
I
Angela?
agree with you. Oh yeah, I agree with both of you. And yeah, when I first saw the trailers for this movie, I was really, really excited to see what it was about. And then when it came out in December, it was definitely it came out around a really hard time for me. So after watching it and after watching it multiple times, I still cry, and it's
Mhm.
definitely one of my favorites. Like the whole message and the theme behind it, and the struggles of all the characters. It's and the background stories of all the characters. It's just it speaks on another level, especially in the pandemic time.
Indeed.
Yeah. So yeah,
Mm,
let's start off.
I just wanted
Anything
to
else to add
no,
to
I
that?
just wanted to mention that like going into it, like I kind of expected that I would cry, and I actually did.
Mhm.
Especially by the climax or the finale. Yeah, yeah, that's all.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I
Um,
already also expected to cry because Pixar movies are very, very just known for making me cry, even if it's about like, oh, it's about a toy. Oh, it's about your emotions.
have you
Nah,
yeah.
it's something deeper.
have you watched Toy Story 4? That's the one that I haven't watched yet.
I haven't
So
watched
get
that.
ready. You haven't? Oh my
Uh,
god, I love it.
I know.
Forky's the best. Like I laugh every time Forky speaks. The nervous
Mm,
energy is amazing.
I can sense that. Yeah, I think I would like Forky too. But
Yeah,
I oh yeah, sir. Sorry, go go.
it was just funny because like would go trash. It's just it becomes a meme in your head.
Yeah. I just thought like Toy Story 3 was like a good ending already for that
Yeah,
part, but I don't know what Toy Story 4 is about. Like I barely kind of know what the
I'm
plot is, but
kind of spoiled, but yes.
it's
yeah.
about moving forward.
Maybe I will watch
Childhood.
that
Yeah.
soon. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about, I guess, first and foremost, our highlights, the favorite
Favorite
moments
moment.
of the
Mm-hmm.
film.
Just cry.
You,
Uh,
yeah,
I
who
guess
wants to
I'll
go first?
Just
I
well.
guess I can go first. A
Yeah.
personal highlight of the film for me was when 22, because when they were in the Great before, uh,
Mm-hmm.
she was like mentioning, oh, various other people have tried, what's the term called again? Like getting her
Mentor
Earth badge?
mentors?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
mentors, yeah. Mentor,
fast, I
yeah.
think.
And, she mentioned like a lot of people that we know. And I don't know, I just,
Yeah.
that was just like really funny to me. Like, when they would name
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln or Muhammad Ali, I was like, oh, that's cool. It's like
Yeah.
a small
You are
Easter
the
egg.
greatest pain in
Yeah.
my butt.
And
That was so
how they
funny.
animated it, that they actually like look like,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
just like one of
Then
my, it was like really funny. I was actually like laughing in that moment. What about you
yeah,
guys?
it was so great. Yeah, and the part there that really makes me laugh all the time is I really forget the name of the philosopher, but the
It's Carl Jung. Psych.
guy,
He's a psych guy. Yeah.
yes, you would know. It's like he
Okay.
goes like, "I
What?
stop talking. My unconscious mind hates you." I don't know, it's so cute because the souls look so squishy and cute, and then
Yeah.
when they get angry, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, look at you! You're so angry."
Wasn't there like
It's like
also a
yeah.
philosopher there? I forgot, like the dude that
Another
was like,
one.
oh, the world doesn't revolve around you. I was like, oh, that's really funny.
Copernicus.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Copernicus.
Copernicus.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
the traveler.
Yeah. 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 I was surprised that Marie Antoinette was there, just headless.
Yeah.
Like, how was she supposed to give inspiration? Wasn't she like
She's your
eat
bad
the rich,
person.
or not eat the
Yeah.
rich? She was the
She was
rich.
the rich Ethan.
Yeah, she was the rich. And there you go.
It was so
That
funny
was
because she's
funny.
also having cake. There was cake there also, and I was like,
Yeah.
don't you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My
Uh.
other
Yeah.
favorite part was, I don't know why. I think it just reminds me of my other friend whose humor is like that, where one of the Jerrys, was trying to distract Harry, and it's like, "What's over there? Look over there immediately!" And I don't know why that specific immediately just made me laugh so much. And then he immediately gaslit Harry. It's like, what? There was nothing, but like, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's hard to
the
explain.
the voice acting
But
in
that's
this movie
me.
is really good. Like I love
Mhm.
what's her name, Jerry? Yeah, I love Jerry. All of the Jerrys actually, and
Yeah.
22,
Mhm.
and I guess Joe. Joe's also like, Jamie Foxx. I didn't know it
Jamie
was him.
Foxx.
I was like actually surprised
Yeah.
when I looked it up.
Yeah.
I was
It's
so
really
surprised with
nice.
Tina Fey because I was like, I know this voice, and I couldn't peg like, is this a young person, older
Ooh.
person? And I was like, oh my god, it's Tina Fey, and my love for SNL, like, oh, Tina
Mm.
Fey was here, and then Amy Poehler was Joy in Inside Out, so
Uh-huh.
that was cool. Hmm.
Yeah, that's nice. That was nice. I guess
Oh,
my one of my favorite scenes, well, this is kind of sad now,
it's
but
okay.
memorable scenes or like the moment that made me cry the most was 22 as a lost soul, her little anxiety bubble,
Mm-hmm.
lost soul kind of creature moment
Yeah.
when Joe was trying to like connect back with her, and like that whole
Mhm.
moment kind of broke me because
Yeah.
it was like looking at myself from another lens, and I was like, oh god. And
Yeah.
like that, the whole setup for that scene where you have like 22's past mentors repeating the discouraging things
Yeah.
that they've said to her, and like it's literally how it's not literally, sorry, it's one of the representations of how anxiety can like take over your mindset,
Yeah.
your overthinking, and
Yeah.
it was just a good execution. I really liked how they did that scene.
Mhm. Because it
It's
feels like that.
yeah, it
It
kind of feels like that.
it's like it over in the movies. It's like you see it that it's like one by one people are saying it, but it's actually overlapping
Mhm.
when you overthink, and then the words people say, it's blurry sometimes to me when it happens when you go in a spiral.
Yeah,
Doesn't like it's not concrete voices anymore. It's just a blur sometimes, and you just
yeah.
remember how you feel bad about it.
It's
It's
just
kind of like
like
that also. Yeah.
yeah. It's just like noise in your head that you can't shake off.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah, and
that was it. Yeah.
yeah. And I just like how it ended. Like that whole scene kind of told me because it was her mentors, and like mentors are supposed to guide you and whatnot, but
Yeah.
all she ever had was discouraging ones. But Joe
Mm-hmm.
stuck with her, and Joe
Mm-hmm.
never
Even
gave
though
up
he
on her. Yeah,
kind
even
of
though he kind of
gaslit.
did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least he tried to like redeem himself from that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like yeah, I can go into that like later on, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's on a good scene, good scene. Yeah.
I think surprise and no, I'm like I'll think of like the proper words to say. That scene in particular, like I think a lot of people can like relate to it. That's why I think it's also really good. And you know, I guess like it's one of those like very emotional scenes in the movie, and it really hits home. Like I think everybody, honestly, like everybody's had that moment in their life where, you know, they feel that uh, what's the term? Like, dis-
Lost,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Lost, yeah.
discouraged,
discouragement from
disconnected. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and
What we want to talk about the next scene?
On our bullet list.
Sorry. Yeah, we're prepared. Yeah.
Magician's secrets finally revealed.
uh, okay, we can like sorry. The next scene that we can probably talk about is one of my favorite scenes also is Joe accompanying 22 to Earth. Just
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
her being ready to go down, and I just really like that scene because the music that accompanied it
Yeah,
was
I was gonna
so beautiful.
say.
It
I was
was
gonna say.
really good. It made me tear up because it's
Mm,
I just like I'm a sucker for those kinds of moments where you see where I saw 22 finally feel
Mm-hmm.
like she's ready, she's happy and she's ready to go to Earth, and it's just a really pure moment that I like a lot. How do you guys?
yeah.
What do you guys think?
That
Yeah, same. I really liked it, and I think it's the music that really
Mm,
made it. Shout out John Baptiste, Trent
yeah.
Reznor. I'm butchering her names. I'm sorry, and Atticus Ross. Like they were really well deserved Oscar. I'm already
that
saying
Yeah.
it.
that
I said
moment,
it.
like I didn't expect it, honestly. Like, you know, I kind of knew that you know, 22 would go to Earth and stuff, but like I was like caught off guard when Joe was like, you know, I'll accompany you, and like, and she's like, oh, but you can't like follow me, and it's like, oh, like I don't know. It was such a sweet moment for the
Yeah,
both of
he
them.
gave it away. And it's
Yeah.
so nice because it's like, sometimes in life when you help someone, you don't really get to see them fulfill their journey afterwards. Because it's if you can think about it, this follows the hero's journey, but it also 22's hero's journey. And she met her mentor, so you also saw it kind of in the perspective of the mentor. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, well, it makes sense to me because I kind of know what the hero's journey is about because you and I both know we learned it in class, but I don't know if Josh has been introduced to the hero's journey yet.
I'll tell you that after.
Structure of that.
We have.
Nice.
That's good.
So, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Noise. Good. Yay, school.
Stay in school.
Commerce.
So I'd like to add, like, my ultimate favorite moment actually in the movie was when Joe was realizing, like, he had the epiphany that his life wasn't so bad. Like, when he was sitting in the diner eating this food alone, he was just actually really enjoying it. He wasn't alone and sad. Yeah. And then, like, he just forgot that regular old living is actually the best part about living. Because, like, when he looked up at the sun and saw the seeds fall down, or he was biking under the sun and just feeling the vibes. It was so cool because that's how I also feel. Like, when I eat alone at school, I feel really good about that. Or when I bike alone around my village, it feels really good. And I would also, like, look up at the sun and it felt like, oh my god. And I've always wanted to like video or capture those moments when I'm doing that, like when you feel at peace. Those small moments you have alone and you feel good about yourself. I've always wanted to capture it, and when I saw it in Seoul, I was like, that's it. Like, Leonardo DiCaprio meme. That's it. Like, point at it. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
It was so great. That's my favorite moment. In itself, having those being my favorite moments is also what Soul is about. Those small moments in life makes you really happy, and those are also my favorite moments in Soul. The small moments. I was like, okay, at least I should receive thank you, and yeah, it was really good.
I agree with you on, and I also I agree with you on your explanation, and I also agree that whole scene is also one of my favorite scenes, and it's a good scene. And I'm getting ahead of myself with like the psychological concepts, but this moment is like a beautifully executed scene that captures mindfulness, both the Joe's epiphany and just Joe looking up at the sun and just feeling feeling the sun, looking at the autumn leaves. It's just beautiful mindfulness moment. So we can talk about that mental health stuff later on. You wanna
I guess,
how about you, Josh?
Like, I feel like I've had those moments, like, when you just like stop and like look around you and like appreciate everything. Like, it doesn't come all the time, but like when it comes, you're like, oh, like maybe
So
living,
nice.
like living is nice. Because, like, sometimes you're just like, oh, I hate existing, I hate doing this, responsibilities, this and that. But like, sometimes you just have to like appreciate the moment, I guess. And that's something that I really like about Soul, is like, it also teaches you that living ain't so bad after all, if you look at the brighter parts of life. And there's a lot. Like, I agree with what you said, like, school. Like, when you were saying that, I had like flashbacks of the times that I would just like eat alone at school and just like appreciate the food, and just like, oh, I'm here, dream school, COVID,
and it's like it's really nice. Like, I like those small moments alone you have to yourself, like the quiets in the morning or in between classes. It wouldn't be as special if you had it all the time. And sometimes I think to myself, like, okay, I'm pretty thankful that I kind of am busy, because I wouldn't be appreciative of the break I had myself, where I'm mindful and it's peaceful. Because if I was just lazy the whole day, it wouldn't be as great. So that was really cool, and just still really captured it, and I'm really happy about that. Because whenever I feel down, I'll just look at those scenes. It's just it's really great.
That's nice. That's nice. I guess we can now talk about the execution of the whole movie, so we can talk more of production talk and all that stuff. Go come art student. Take the
Go
floor.
ahead, Josh. You know more about animation than
Okay,
me.
so
Yeah.
just small exposition sharing moment.
Go, go, go.
I really like animation, and the animation of this movie is like I haven't actually like watched at least a CGI movie like in a while, like the ones that's recently released. So the like with this movie, I got to see like the what's the term, parang the advancements that animation has made. So I was like blown away with, especially like the lighting or like this just the set design. So like an example that
Yeah.
came into my mind was like I guess the Great Before, like where the I guess like majority of the movie takes place kind of, but or a chunk of the movie takes place there.
Yeah.
Like that moment, like that place, like okay, so imagine you're in the meeting room, like and the
Yeah.
director is like, I task you to create, this place, the Great Before, and like, where
What
souls
does it
are
look like?
made, or yeah, what did it look like?
Yeah.
So, it's just
Yeah.
like the execution and like all the characters in that place was like it doesn't have to be realistic or follow some law that
Yeah.
existed in real life. Like they just needed to depict
Mhm.
it in a way that people can relate and appreciate, and I think they succeeded
Mhm.
in that. And one thing that I really love about that place is Jerry, because
Mhm.
how and I guess how Jerry is like it's a
Mhm.
2D character but also in a 3D
Mhm.
space. So that
Yeah.
challenge is like, oh, like this is so cool that they can make her just be seamless in the movie. Like yeah, I
And
don't
it,
know.
yeah, you're right. Seamless. I just wanted to add what you said about it being seamless because it's like it. You know how in Klaus or in other animations, like it's a
Mhm.
2D thing in an animated in a 3D animated field or what I don't know what you call it spectrum. I don't know, but then it just yeah
Meld.
just hold on. You can cut this part out. It just blended well. It just
Mhm.
blended well, and it was so cool. Cause I love how when Jerry was moving, and then the arms would like pass
Twist.
through them to
Yeah,
twists
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was so cool to see it like that. Cause it would really look like that, and I don't know. It's just really cool how this team was also the same team who produced Inside Out. And I
Mm.
realized like in Inside Out when they how the feelings or the emotions would have like these little kind of see-through be ethereal beings, and then they kind of transferred that and made it into a new kind of being with the souls, and you can
Mm.
still see like those like little fuzzy parts about them.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, like the particles, because it's kind of similar, and I just like looking at it because
It's the small
you
details
have this
talaga.
Yeah.
like there's like a blue and you guys can cut this out. It's fine. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't
I think
It's
I think what
okay.
you said made sense
have to
naman.
explain.
And
Yeah.
like for me, one of the things that I appreciate then a lot with this film is the real life scenes, or the scenes in Earth there. Uh yeah, it's just really nice to see, I guess, like Manhattan, like where the film was
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
what's the term? I was about to say shot, but where the film took
Yeah.
place, yeah, there.
The setting.
The setting,
The
yeah.
production design, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it
Yeah.
was so real, but at the same time, like it's very stylized. I don't know if that makes sense.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Oh, I
Realistic
just
in that
wanted to
world.
yeah. I wanted to add, since I'm not a commerce student. I wish I was. I was almost. But I watched a few videos of like the soul animators talk about the whole like animation process and how they progressed. I can send you guys the link later on. But the I wanted to talk about the production design because first of all, yeah,
mhm.
it did like it made me miss New York a lot. Like it was so lifelike, realistic, very it referenced so much of real life New York, and they did their research very well. Of course, it's New York. It's pretty unmistakable. Yeah. And I I wanted to like talk about how one of the animators, I think he's the director of animation for Soul. I forgot his name. I'm so
Mhm.
sorry. But he like talked about how in Pixar, or like their goal was not about making everything realistic, but their main goal was rather to bring out and make sure the emotions and the story is as
Yeah.
realistic as possible. So it's not they say that it's not intentional, but like maybe I'm so sorry. I feel like they meant like it's the whole world setup is mainly to bring out and make sure that the emotions in the story takes place are as relatable as possible, those that kind of thing. So yeah, that's all I have to say about the production. Yeah, but
Thank
yeah.
you.
For
How
me,
about you guys?
like
Anything else?
for the production design at least, like it made me realize that I didn't like fully experience New York when I was there. So I was like kind of regretting that. I was like, oh, like I didn't like go to like I guess like walks around the city and stuff. Like I feel like that would have been fun. Like I know it was crowded, but it's like something that you should experience if you're in New York, as New York stuff, I guess. But yeah, it's just like, oh, sorry, you're saying.
No, I meant same because I only had like 2 days in New York, and I wanted to say like that only means that you will eventually come back and then have more moments in New York.
That's true. That's true.
Someday,
Don't feel too bad because it will
someday.
happen. New York is just there.
Yeah.
And like also, one last thing about I guess like the animation, uh, there were like a lot of scenes now that when watching, because I studied animation a bit, right? Like there are some scenes that look simple, like Joe picking up like what do you call this, like the trinkets that 22 like picked up
Yeah.
along the way, like the
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
lollipop, the donut. I was like, that looks so simple,
Yeah.
but I was like,
Oh,
when
yeah.
watching it, I was like, oh god, like this person animated like him picking those all up, and it's like that's actually like more complex than it seems. So props to the
Really?
animation
That's so
team.
cool.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Didn't know that.
Oh,
Uh,
I also
Cool.
want to add with like animation wise, I know for the music, since music is such a huge part of this movie, the way they
Yes.
animated the piano playing scenes, they really
mm-hmm.
they according to them, like they had multiple camera angles just
Mhm.
pointed directly at John Batiste just to capture every hand gesture,
Yeah.
every hand tendon, like the
Really?
knuckles and
Cool.
everything. And in the video that I watched, also the animators were saying like they even had like some controls in each of his fingers just to capture like
Like
every
mocap?
I don't know the term, but yeah, I can send you the video. But yeah, there's like so much detail and thought and research into that
Wow.
whole animation process and the
Cool.
music. So yeah,
Like
Soul is super well deserved for their Oscar.
if there's
Yeah, man.
if there's one thing that like as an animator, like that's so good to have when animating something, it's reference, and that's good that they shot. Like what's the person's name? I think I assume is the
On
composer.
Batiste?
Is he?
One of the composers, yeah, John
Yeah.
Batiste.
Yeah. So like how they shot his hands and everything, because like when animating, you could like
Yeah.
look at that and like, oh, this is how we do this part and this
Mhm,
part. So
mhm.
Mhm.
yeah, that's all. Another sorry, like another scene I'd like to bring up is, okay, it's like hard to explain, but like the Interstellar, like like that. I don't know if you guys watch Interstellar. That
I haven't yet.
scene
Okay,
when
I got you.
they're going
It's
through
okay.
the black
It's
hole,
fine.
like
Yeah.
for Soul at least, like how they depicted the afterlife, or like some scenes
Ooh.
na they're in the afterlife, especially like I think what do you call the scene, the one where what's his name again, the
Oh,
not the bad guy, the angry
Terry?
Terry, yeah, Terry, the angry
Terry,
Jerry.
angry
Terry.
Jerry.
When
Terry's
Terry
voiced by a woman.
when Terry captured
Oh.
22 and Joe, like
Yeah.
that moment was just
Yeah.
like, whoa, like no, this is like really appealing to the eyes, I guess, with how they animated it and like
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything.
Was that the one where Terry mistakenly caught someone
Oh
else
yeah,
and
that
then
was also funny.
it turned into black and white?
Yeah,
Was that the
yeah,
one you were
like
referencing?
yeah, like just that what's the term, transition, I guess. Like
Yeah.
it's really cool. So
Nice.
Gets.
All right.
Understandable. Yeah.
So, are we good with prod
I think so. Yeah.
Production talk, yeah. All
Lots
right.
of production talk. We can move on
Let
to
us memes.
let's talk about
Really?
the big theme of soul, as I guess is depicted in the movie, is passion, or like one's purpose, or finding your spark. So lots of questions like, what is 22 spark? What is her purpose? What makes life meaningful and all that stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
what do you guys think of passion versus your purpose?
You guys.
Oh,
Oh. Uh. Hmm. Well, I guess like the movie made me like think like about like a lot of stuff. I guess like
yeah.
I've always believed that as a person, it's normal to dream big things about yourself and hoping
Mhm.
that one day you'll achieve them. But like there's also like this voice, I guess, like telling me that sometimes to be realistic, like what can you achieve, and like should I focus my time on like that goal, and like
Mm-hmm.
with Joe, like I really related to his character with like him wanting to be to play jazz, to play for a band, and all that, and uh sorry, I didn't know my main point. Well, basically, I just wanted to
Okay.
share that it really gets you thinking on that specific topic, I guess, of like
Yeah,
being
yeah,
realistic, pursuing your passion, but also being realistic in just what your purpose is, like what you're
yeah.
actually gonna
Yeah.
achieve.
I agree with you on that, because I remember in the scene where 22 as Joe was in the barber shop, and 22 was saying, she was like talking about how she was just like blatantly ranting in the chair, because it does that to you apparently, and she was like saying stuff like how the people saying, like, the usamer say that you're born to do something, but, and then she was like ranting on like, how do you know what, how do you find this purpose, how do you know this is what you were born to do, isn't it scary, what if you think that you're meant for this, but what if it's actually someone else's thing, what if this thing is actually not meant for you, those kinds
Mm-hmm.
of philosophical kind of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. How about you, Nala?
Okay, so passion versus purpose. All my life, I thought, everyone asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up? But then it's just it's already like setting expectations of what you should do. And I think Soul brought in this new point of the discourse of passion versus purpose, where your passion doesn't have to be your purpose. And in Soul, the main, I guess, message is like, purpose in life is just to live. Like, you just have to enjoy life.
Mm-hmm.
And when your passions get the most of you, you become a lost soul, and you you lose a sense of yourself. You maybe even become less of a person because you're just too zoned in.
Yeah.
That could also be a bad thing. And I guess example to make it more clear is that I thought, my passion is like photography and filmmaking, cinematography, and I really got so zoned into it. I'm not saying I was a lost soul, but I let it get the best of me in the sense that, like, I really just was so worried for so long to be
Mm-hmm.
like, how am I ever going to reach my dreams of being a successful creative? How am I gonna do that? And I was always like so fixated on, I just want to do that. I just want to do that. And then I keep forgetting, like, like Joe Gardner, I would always talk about film, always. And it's like, wow, was I like that? Did I always just talk
Mm.
about film? Did I not want to talk about anything else? And it's kind of sad because, like, that was a realization for me, because I was like, maybe you should stop or just do something else. Like, what were you doing before you realized you wanted to do film? And
Mm-hmm.
that's why, thankfully for this pandemic, in a silver lining kind of way, I'm not thankful that the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
Like, got in touch with different hobbies, and that's when I realized, like, oh, film is not my only thing, and my purpose is to just live. And it's
Mm-hmm.
slowly teaching me to not monetize my hobbies, and maybe that's a good thing that it won't be so self-destructive or make me burn out because I am burnt out.
Yeah.
So it was really such a good movie to tell me like, hey, Joe Gardner didn't even become a musician, a professional musician. He became a music teacher. And that's also something he's good at.
Yeah.
And something you're good at doesn't have to be your passion or your quote unquote spark.
Yeah.
You can be good at many things, and maybe we don't even realize that. Like, our strength, like, Josh and I, we do filmmaking, and then you love films, Anika, and
Yeah.
psychology and all of that. But then you're also good at other things, so it's just
Am I good
a
at
lot.
other things? I don't know.
Yes, yeah, come
I
on, give
don't
yourself some credit. So it was great, and yeah, anyway, I hope
Yeah.
that made sense.
Oh yeah,
It did,
for
it
me.
did, definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks,
It did.
thanks.
Yeah. Yes. You want to say something, Josh?
Something that like that has been in my head for like for as long as I can remember is like not just me but like I'm like thinking about like other people like it's so scary to I guess like choose something and like dedicate your life into it but like knowing that wasn't
Yeah.
your purpose so like you spend so much time following your dream. Maybe it's your dream, but it's not for you.
Yeah.
And then you just
Yeah.
like that moment of like realization is like scary for a lot of people. And I think it's also
Yeah.
why I understand why a lot of people like don't really go for something 100%. Like they make sure that they have what's the term
Backup
backup
plan.
plan
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
an alternative just in case. And
Mm-hmm.
it's realistic. Like it's like a good idea to have those backups, but like uh I just I don't know. I keep saying these things, but like I still don't know what the main point is.
Point.
When if
Mhm.
I think about
I
it.
think you're gonna find your main point when we get to the end. But I get what you're trying to say, or I get what you're trying to imply. So
Yeah, I forgot. I lost it. So
uh, yeah, go on,
oh no, I kind of also forgot my
Okay.
point. Like
what were you saying? What were you saying? Wait, Josh was
Like
saying something, and I was
being
like thinking.
like think your
Oh,
passion
I
is
think
not your purpose there.
yeah, okay, I
No,
get
no,
it.
you were saying something. I wanted to.
Backup
Wait,
plan.
I
wait,
know. Is it
backup.
is it
The backup. Okay, here. Because I learned this from a guy. I forgot his name, but the guy on TikTok who has like a beanie who's always walking around in the snow.
Uh-huh.
Like he told a story about. I don't know if it was him or I think I'm mixing up two stories, but I think he's the one who studied law for like so long. Okay, let's not use him. I don't think this is a story, but I know that there's a story of a person who put most of her early life into studying law. Like she wanted to be a lawyer, and then once she finished graduating, when she graduated and it was official, she didn't want to be a lawyer anymore, and she was like, you know what? I don't want to be. I don't want to live a life where I'm just a lawyer just because I spent the first half of my life or first quarter of my life dedicated to it. Like, why would you commit yourself to a life you don't want to even pursue anymore? Because your mind will change. And scary, yeah, but I think it's a lot scarier if you commit yourself to a promise you made yourself when you were younger and didn't know better. Which I will close this statement by saying a quote. My favorite quote from Hank Green, which is like, you are something like this, but it's not verbatim. You not obligated to your younger self. They are dumber than you and don't know any better. So that's a food for thought. Yeah.
That's a good quote. I think I need to remember that from
Send you guys a link.
Oh yes, please do. I wanted to add to what Josh said, and I wanted to also say my own piece. And I remember Josh mentioned that it's kind of connected to what both of you just said, which is you work so hard for something your whole life, and then suddenly think maybe this might not be for me, and it's that change at the end of the road. And I get that a lot, especially since I am now in post-grad era, the post-grad arc of my life, now that I've done with school. And I think it's I started thinking about how funny it is, how in high school, or I guess earliest is like grade school, ending of grade school, they ask you
Hmm.
what do you want to be,
Yeah.
and they give you options. They give you like a form.
Oh,
Okay,
they do it. They did
yeah,
for you guys.
for me at least, I think when we were trying to pick our strand for senior high
Oh,
school,
okay, okay, I
they
get it.
give you a form, and then they're like, okay, maybe check out all of your interests, and then they're gonna put you
Hmm.
in a box to be like, okay, you're for the science, engineering, and mathematics course. You're for the humanities and social sciences, and
Yeah.
you're kind of like boxed into that area. Okay, where do I find myself here? Where am I happy? That's how, at
Mhm.
least that's how my younger self thought, and I kept looking back to my interests, my hobbies, and then yeah, it brought up the question: is it okay to monetize your hobbies? How
Yeah.
can I make money out of my passions?
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing lately.
Super.
And
Everyone.
and it kind of put a lot of pressure in me personally, at
Mm.
least, for because I'm so afraid of that moment, that how I'm so afraid to encounter a similar moment that Joe had in the movie, which is when he finished his gig with Dorothea Williams, right? And
Mhm.
he asked her, I've been waiting for this day my entire life. I thought I'd feel different. And
Yeah.
that moment just showed me like how some dreams might not be what we expect it to be. And I
Ooh.
just keep remembering how Dorothea told him that about the fish, and how like the fish was trying to find the ocean, and then an older
Mm.
fish told him, this is the
This is
ocean.
the ocean.
But the
Yeah.
younger fish didn't believe him. And I'm just like thinking about how you, like, the after the whole process of working hard for your dreams and you've already achieved it, you kind of forget you kind of forget to enjoy the whole process. You kind of forget
Yeah.
to enjoy living.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing about soul, is that you have to live in the moment, kind of thing. You have to be mindful of the journey where you're
Yeah.
at. And that's what's important. And I guess it's just a little bit pressuring, because this whole culture now, grind culture,
Mhm.
crunch culture, or like hustle culture,
Yeah.
overworking yourself for your pay, and
Yeah.
life almost being a competition when it's not
Mhm.
supposed to be. Because I, at least for me, it's a personal thing of mine. Like, I know so many people, I'm on social media a lot. Like, there's so
Yeah.
many TikTokers younger than me, YouTubers
Yeah.
younger than me, and they're getting paid just for creating content. And like, of course, that's a job to an
Good for
extent.
them. Good for
Yeah,
them.
good for them. Good for them. Post pictures of yourself. Sure, get that money, grab that back. But
Yeah.
you just look, you just forget that behind all that social media, behind all that grind, there is the
Mhm.
burnt out of it. There is that
Mhm.
moment where you're stuck. How else can I create content? How else can I improve my
Grind more.
skills? And
Yeah.
you're basically kind of sacrificing your body and your mind, all for the sake of trying to be better.
Mhm.
Josh, remember.
Hey,
So
I'll
there,
ease
you know
down.
there. Okay. So, I mean, well, all of us can actually, we're all overworkers. I'm not just singling
Mhm.
out Josh. But yeah. And I guess it's just kind of, it just made me realize a bit that sometimes I get thoughts like, am I really thinking about that? Am I really putting myself in that mindset that I'm going to be happy as soon as I get to this point in my life? I'm going to
Mhm.
be happy as soon as I get this amount of money in my paycheck, or something like that. And
Yeah.
when I don't reach those expectations, I'm kind of making myself suffer even further. So this whole kind of mess, this whole circle is so, you get caught up with the obsession of it. You get caught up with the grind and everything. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's why soul is very important, because just gotta live in the moment. Period. I
Yeah.
kind of
And
said so much negativity. I'm so sorry, but yeah.
I don't know. It's okay. I think just to add, I really, really look up to any content creator who's really grinding, and I really wish I was like one of them who is who can really monetize off of, like,
Hmm.
build a business, build a brand
Mhm.
for themselves. And like Valentina V, she's like a filmmaker I'm following, and just anyone else. I wish I could do that. Like, I could. At the same time, maybe I'm just stopping myself maybe I'll get into it later. There's a lot of maybes, but kudos to them because I love that they're grinding. Like Apple Cheeks, Tiffany Tan, she's really cool, and
I also
I
follow
just
those people.
yeah, I just love it for them. And I guess if ever we want to pursue that, and the lesson for from Soul,
Yeah.
I learned this saying from my friend Gary. I thought she wrote it herself or thought of it herself, but it wasn't. I'd like to think she did, and it really stuck with me. She said, "The journey is the destination." Like that's why Joe was like, "Oh, that's it. Like I got the gig, and it doesn't feel any different." Yeah,
Mhm.
because the journey really is the destination, where it pays off. Because like think of when you reach the destination, the actual maybe your finish line, you think back and don't like, I guess like you think back and think, wow, I went through so much, and that's why it pays off. The journey is the destination because wouldn't have loved or enjoyed this payoff if it weren't for
The
thing that I
struggle.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
the struggle, the good times, the bad times, everything in between. It's really cool. And yes, the actual villain here is capitalism.
I
They capitalize our our hobbies, our passions, or everything. It could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, but sometimes I just really wish like can't I just do what I want to do without thinking like I should monetize this?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I'm just gonna bring it out there. I don't know how else to transition this, but like just to keep in mind from the sticker I learned from I got or the saying I got from Cara Olivares. Less mindless hustle, more mindful magic. Which is a
Mhm.
really nice reminder for any creative out there in whatever medium you do.
Yeah.
It's really something to remind you like go ahead, build your portfolio, hustle and grind, but also don't forget to love your art the way that you did before you chose to make it about a business or something like that.
That's true. That's true. Just I guess also to quote another good quote is from Sir Harry Styles. You
Oh
know.
yeah, there you go.
Oh no, I suddenly forgot the quote. Gosh
If
darn it, Harry.
you're
What you
happy doing
doing?
what
Oh
you're
yeah.
doing. I
Yeah.
got
You
you.
got you know it.
If
What
you're
is it?
happy
What is it?
doing what you're doing, if you're happy doing what you're doing, no one can tell you that you're not successful.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite quotes, and I always remember that the whole point is to do what makes you happy.
And even
Yeah.
if it's like me, what makes me happy right now is not to do much of my photography and doing another thing that I like doing, which is like writing and planning. So I'm happy doing that, and I can tell myself that I'm not successful because I'm happy. And even if it's
Mhm.
not my passion, quote unquote, then that's really fine. So thank you, Harry Styles.
Yeah.
Oh,
How about
made
you,
me
Josh?
made me think of like what am I happy doing now? Uh okay, maybe like it's hard for me
Your
to answer.
Valorant gaming stuff.
Yeah, that's good. That's also good.
I mean, okay, like I guess like it's hard. I mean, yeah, that's one, but like, uh it's hard to think, I guess, like, what's happy now because I'm still almost finals and I've just been like stressing out about like a lot of things, but
Hmm.
and also thesis. But other than that, I really like what Nala mentioned. Oh my god, you mentioned a lot of things. Wait, which one was it? The
I can write it
one,
down for you.
the one about. Okay, you know what? Let me just like think of another point. I think I can like relate it back to what you said, naman. When you mentioned something about uh enjoying the moment at least. Yeah, am I right? You mentioned that, right? Like enjoying
Yeah, the
Yes.
what you're
journey is
doing.
the
Yeah,
destination kind of thing.
Journey is the
because
destiny.
like
Is that the one?
yeah, because oh, I remember now. I had 2 points I wanted to mention, but yeah, that you often think about like the destination being like once I get this I'm happy, like that's something
Mhm.
I've always like I guess I'm guilty of doing na like I keep
Same
telling
naman.
myself na
Yeah.
I'll just get through with this week and I'll be happy. I'll just do this. I'll
Yeah.
be happy. But like as soon as I get those things, as soon as I get through the week, I guess I realize that I'm still the same. Like nothing much has changed. You just got through the week. You just achieve this, achieve that, and like life is really what you make it to be, and
Mhm.
whatever you're doing in the moment, I guess, is what life is. And I don't know. It's just, I guess, like, it's a bit also like a lot to take in if you think about it, because
Yeah,
it makes you really question
definitely.
what you're. It definitely makes you question what you're doing most of the time. Like, oh, like,
Yeah.
this is what I'm
Yeah.
making my life out to be. And another thing is, I don't know who mentioned this, if it was Anika or you, but like, your past self doesn't owe you anything or something. I Sorry if I butchered that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
It's you.
oh yeah.
I'll
Sorry, go.
tell
Were you
you
saying
next time.
something?
No, no, no.
Okay, okay.
It was
No,
the Hank Green. It was the Hank Green quote.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you have no obligation to your former self.
Oh
They are
yeah, there.
younger than you, and yeah.
Dumber
So
than
no
you.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I used to be like, to ensure, because when you're young, you have a goal in mind that you want, so you make a promise to yourself, and sometimes your goal might be over, you know, might be too ambitious,
Hmm.
or something stupid that you just, like, in the moment just tell yourself, okay, I promise I'll do this, and nothing's gonna stop me, and then you do it, and then even if you achieve or not, sometimes at the end of the day you just feel, it doesn't feel as satisfying, or it's definitely what you imagined it to be. And like, sometimes you think about, if I stop pursuing the promise I made, does that make me a quitter or something? And like,
Yeah.
I think people always, like, it's been what's the term, but there's a stigma about quitting, na it's always a bad thing.
Hmm.
Oh,
But
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. I
sometimes
agree.
we have to realize that quitting may be the best thing that could happen to you, or on
That's so
on
true.
whatever happened. And I'm not
Hmm.
saying naman that you should quit on your dream or anything, but like, just, I guess, like, having an open mind that maybe this isn't for you, like something else
Wait,
might
wait,
make you
wait.
Yeah.
happier.
I suddenly thought of what Levi said in Attack on Titan.
What
Which
did
This
he
one?
is this is
say?
barely a spoiler. This is like a mini spoiler, Nala. I know you're
Alright, I'm
watching, but
fine.
Oh,
I
you're
remember he
watching!
said,
Yay!
yeah, I remember he said to. I'm not going to tell you who. That's going to be the spoiler. And he just said the quote, "Give up on your dreams and die." And then that's what I got from what Josh said about quitting. But sorry, I had to. It's just a pop up thought. But yes,
It's alright. That's alright.
I agree with you on like the whole stigma with quitting, and like usually for me at least, my thoughts on that is that if you know that where you're at right now, it's not healthy for you, it's
Yes.
and the best move for you is to get out for your
Mhm.
sake, your mental health sake,
Yeah.
your body's sake. Do it. And whatever other people say, if they call you that, oh, you're such a weakling naman for quitting, you didn't push through it. It doesn't matter
Mhm.
what they think because it's you did it for you. You took care of yourself and you know what's best for you. No one else can tell you different.
Yeah. And if I may add,
Mm-hmm.
in the quitting thing, I don't really think it's a sign of weakness or quitting. I think, okay, I'll give myself an example. I really told myself, like, I really don't want to do photography anymore right now because it just doesn't feel right. Like, I'm forcing myself.
Mm,
I'm trying to squeeze out something that
it's
there's
not
nothing else to
there.
squeeze
Yeah.
anymore. And I don't think it's quitting, but it's a form of like recharging.
Mm-hmm.
If I put it in a metaphor, it's like I'm casting a line, like, casting it far away, but knowing that it's tethered to me. I know I know it in myself, and I have faith in myself that I'm gonna let it come back to me when I am ready. But for now, let me deal with something else in my life that I could also do. Because I don't know, that's the best I can give. Like, I have faith in myself. No one can tell me that I'm quitting. No one can tell me how to do this or do it otherwise. Like, don't boss me around and tell me that I can't do this or I should keep grinding, because if I keep grinding, then I'm gonna lose it. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
cast it aside, but I have faith that it's gonna come back to me. So maybe if you're worried about that, Josh, then it's really fine. Because maybe with Joe Gardner, it's like he was so afraid to lose that he just kept focusing, like hyper focusing on that goal, that
Yeah.
it robbed him of enjoying life. Like, he didn't even realize that he was really enjoying teaching and music, because the students would be inspired by him. But then in his mind, I bet he was saying like, man, I could be doing something better, like being a musician instead of teaching music. And it's like, you're wasting your todays if you worry about your tomorrows.
That's
Something I
so
learned from
true.
my other friends. So it's like, one, give yourself credit, because it takes a lot of courage for you to say like, you know, should take a break from this, and I have faith in myself that it's gonna come back. And yeah, it's one, and I can't think of another point.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like how you mentioned that. Yeah. we have so much. We already said so much, and we're not even halfway through our agenda yet. But it's okay. It's okay. I like our discussion. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what we just talked about is like a lot that has to deal with mental health, and yes, we'll just keep talking about mental health.
For sure that this whole episode was meant for Mental Health Awareness Month, so we can like talk more on the relevance for it. So Nala, you mentioned how Joe as a teacher, and how he doesn't know, like he doesn't realize his inspiration or impact on his students. And I want to talk about the mentors in our lives. So I have a question for you guys. Do you guys have a mentor or mentors in your life? Anyone can start.
Does it have to be like on our related to our passion or anything? What?
Not really.
I mean, just anyone
life mentor, anyone you look up to.
Yeah. Anyone you look up to.
You can go first, Nala.
I have so much inspirations in life, but really, I'll just name my top 3. Oh my god! Okay, my first is someone who's really okay. I'll put them in my 1, but they're 2, and that's Zoe and Anica. Actually, there's my friends.
Yeah.
And then I'd like to put like Miss Tony, my teacher in Commerce, and lastly John Mulaney. I love that guy so much. Then whatever he says, I just really he's one of my inspirations, because he's an anxious man who keeps up with appearances. He also strives to be the best creative person he can be, which I really love. Yeah, him, Manuel Miranda, Taika Waititi, and many more. So yeah, I have a lot of inspirations and mentors, even if they're celebrities.
This other one, or these people, I'll count as one, I guess. Also, it's.
Don't be shy. Go on.
I'm shy. But like, such a cheesy answer. It's such a cheesy answer. Fine. I guess you, Nala. I mean Nala. No offense, Anika. I'm just like saying. Nala, Zoe, and Anika.
It's okay.
They're like.
Yeah.
I'm not offended. I don't want to be idolized.
You want to be, as good as. And I actually have like a wall of quotes, in my room of like from people I look up to. And I won't say them because some of them are kind of cringe, but there's also this YouTuber I follow. His name's Ramstyle. I don't know. He's just
who?
Ramstyle. He's a Dragon Ball YouTuber. But I look up to him because
there's always a Dragon Ball reference in every episode that we have.
You can tell I'm a fan, but I don't know. It's just when watching his videos. I mean, I get that. You present yourself to be a certain type of way, but I just love that it's good vibes, like a lot of the time. Like, you just feel, happy when watching it. And, he also has like some videos where he just like sometimes just goes, off topic from what he's recording and just like say something, I guess, like inspiring or something, something like that. And I don't know, that just like really appealed to me, that I wanted to be, like that, like him. I guess as much as possible, be happy that I can spread positivity and stuff, and and inspire other people, because that's always nice. And I guess that's it for mine. How about you, Anika?
Do I have a mentor in my life? Well, sometimes It's not that I have a problem with 40. Kind of do. That's not. I didn't need to mention that. Um, but I guess for mentor wise, I'm inspired by so many people,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like slowly getting the hang of like asking for advice, asking for help, kind of type of things. But a few people come to mind for mentoring kind of things. I'm not necessarily close to these professors, but there are at least three professors that I thought of in my life, and they inspired me so much to almost even become a teacher. Like I genuinely
Same.
wanted to be a teacher, or like it was a thing that I wanted to do. So the very first one is my teacher from my high school.
Mm-hmm.
He was teaching, I think, our Christian living education class, and he, I don't want to say his because then again they're not gonna hear this. So, his name is Sir Doramas, I think, and
Mm-hmm.
he was like grade 9 professor. Professor. He's a grade 9 teacher, and he just really inspired me to chase after my dreams. He really inspired me to kind of like crush my demons and all that kind of stuff
Mm-hmm.
in Christian living education. I know it's kind of like weird and corny that it's
No,
the
it's
religion
alright.
class.
It's
It's
okay.
alright.
I'm not that religious to begin with, but yeah. So, but yeah, he was such a really nice prof that I was just so I felt safe with. So yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
then my second like mentor kind of type was my psych, one of my favorite, if not my favorite psych professor
Mm-hmm.
in college, Miss Jamie. She taught me two classes, cognitive psychology and positive psychology, where a lot of
Mm-hmm.
like the things I know about soul and why I enjoyed soul is because of what she taught me in those two classes.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about her a lot when like thinking of mentor wise and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she's
So
I love how she was so passionate about
sweet.
teaching and psych and just mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one, of course, is our dear
Bro.
dear Professor Sangel.
My Lord
uh,
and Savior.
of course, our
I love her.
precious professor or something. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he one of the special moments in my college life was her class, and
Yeah,
I can
unforgettable.
never forget how I was happy in that, how I was like flourishing. That's a psych term.
Mm-hmm.
Flourishing in that
Mm-hmm.
class. I was
Thriving.
thriving. Yeah, basically thriving. And I bonded so much with my friends.
Team
And
Patronus.
I got a lot of Patronus happy energy
Mm-hmm.
from that. So yeah. Besides that, I just want to also say that I found one of my friends also very inspiring lately, and I kind of always go to her for advice. And
Mm-hmm.
shout out to Nikki. I don't know if he ever watches
Yo.
listens to this, but so far, like lately with the whole getting into work culture, workplace
Mm-hmm.
mode, she's I always kind of go to her to like
Love
say
Nikki.
help.
Mm.
Is it good
Yeah.
to ask questions? I'm kind of scared and all that stuff. And at
Yeah.
first, Nikki, she has that like confidence I wish I had. So
So
I
cool.
handle it sometimes, but
Love
yeah,
her.
yeah. So thank you for that. Thank you for sharing your mentors.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah, I
So
guess we
great.
can now talk about how Joe was a mentor and a teacher, and
Mhm.
since I guess for a lot of us, or wait, I'm not sure if I don't think Josh kind of mentioned a professor or a teacher, but
It's
I'm sure we all had
alright.
teachers in our lives. Yeah. So like,
Teacher
I
is
just want to
Uh,
important,
show.
right?
okay, can I
Yeah.
mention something? Okay. I mean,
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
I'm sure this teacher isn't listening to this because there used to be this teacher that I mean, I liked her a lot because well, other than I found it easier learning with her, she like believed in me, pushed me, like that kind of teacher.
Mhm.
Until I learned that she's DDS, like I still
She
She's
what?
respect her.
DDS?
She's DDS, like hardcore. So
Oh
like I
my
kind of got
god.
not really turned off, but like I still appreciate her for being my teacher, but when it's like when you think about this person like that comes up to your mind. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I just wanted to mention that. But yeah, I still
That's kind of, yeah, I
it's kind
understand that.
Mm,
But yeah,
Bernie's your idols.
yeah.
yeah. Well, God, how do I follow that up?
Sorry.
It's
Uh,
okay.
But alright, so okay.
Yeah.
Joe
I
was
guess,
a teacher.
yeah.
Joe was a
So
teacher.
we all kind of mentioned teachers, maybe they're not as significant, but I'm sure we've had like an educator in our mind when we think of like a mentor or a teacher, or someone
Mm-hmm.
we think we are inspired of. And I just wanted to take this moment to like say how educators have this power that people take for granted. Like I
Mm-hmm.
know online classes are so hard. This whole format, this whole
Oh
system
Jesus.
is horrible, and it's not good on either student or either professor. And we're all trying to do our best, but that aside, an educator's position is, their job is literally to teach the younger generation, right?
Oh.
And it's, they hopefully they'll be able to inspire and shape their kids developing minds. And for Joe, it wasn't ever mentioned in the movie that like, it not mentioned in the movie, but like it was implied that one of his greatest skills is teaching. It's what he's good at,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
we can see that with Curly and with Connie. And I really like how
Mm-hmm.
Curly was put in the movie, because he's an old student of Joe, right? And he was inspired
Oh
by Joe
yeah.
so much that he genuinely thought of his teacher as soon
Yeah.
as he's all grown up and there was an
Yeah.
opening for
Yeah.
something. And I like how it kind of shows like students can give back to their professors sooner or later. And
That's so true.
yeah, I also like how Connie, the scene where Connie also kind of almost quit playing the trombone. I think that's the instrument, not the
Trumpet.
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 I don't know, is it the trumpet or the trombone? Because it's the long thingy. It has an extension, and then the trumpet I think is kind of just short. I just remember that. I don't
Now
know,
I
but
don't know.
that's just music things. But yeah,
Yeah.
like we saw, she went to her session with Joe that day in
Mm-hmm.
the intention of quitting, right? But she didn't.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to, I guess she was just looking for reassurance from her mentor, from her teacher, that
Yeah.
this is what she wanted to do. This is what makes her happy. She should stick with it. And she kind of did. So she didn't quit. I like those moments. So yeah, I like teachers. Don't be mean to your professors, please. They're doing their best. I mean, of course, there are some professors or
Our
teachers
main
who
professors
are very,
too.
very abuse their power, and yeah, those kinds. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I have to say on like that kind of portion. We can talk about
Mm-hmm.
another portion, which is sparks or your purpose. So
Ooh.
I don't know where I'm going with this.
Okay, so spark or purpose. I think it's just also like just another way of saying passion or purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I guess I don't know. Let me put this. Then wait, you can cut this out.
Yes.
It's okay. I guess I just always look at, for in relation to, I guess, sparks or purpose. It I wanted to like highlight the moment where one of the Jerrys at the end of the movie, or like the middle climax part of the movie, Joe was asking what was 22's purpose, what was her spark, and the Jerry said a spark isn't a soul's purpose. It's actually their meanings of life. Like
Yeah.
I think meanings of life. Shout out to Tristan Tano,
Yeah.
our mutual friend who owns his own
So that has a
podcast.
purpose. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess I just thought about a lot of how people, or at least this is what I've heard from therapy videos on YouTube, because I've recently watched the Therapist Reacts to Soul movie on a movie. Yeah. Therapist Reacts to Soul video on
Video.
YouTube. You should check
Mhm.
out their channel. They're actually really good. It's a therapist and it's an aspiring filmmaker analyzing and therapizing, therapy, psychologizing the movies, and that's like a dream job. And um the therapist in the video mentioned like that's how most people in therapy kind of go up, bring into their sessions like what is the meaning of life, what is what will make my life meaningful.
Mhm.
And I guess it's very innate in us as humans, and I'm bringing up a psychological thing.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
sorry. I don't remember the theory, but it's from Eric Erickson's
Mm-hmm.
theory that in the late adulthood stages of our life, we really do look back on our lives and we wonder if we ever did live a meaningful life. And
Mm-hmm.
in the movie, Mentor's Mistake or loosely correlates sparks with passion or
Mm-hmm.
purposes. And
Mm-hmm.
or like one specific thing. But I think, at least for me, in my perspective, I think sparks are really the unique things we find joy in, and this is key.
Mm-hmm.
We find joy in. So it's subjective. People have their own
Yeah.
individual joys in life, and for
Yeah.
22, it wasn't anything material, anything in the hall of everything, or easily
Just living
understood.
life.
It's just, yeah, what Joe
Mm.
said. It's
Yeah.
just regular old living, and
Yeah.
at first it was just nonchalantly said like, oh, that's just regular old living, it shouldn't be a
Yeah.
big deal. But it's not just a big deal. It's okay to enjoy the little things in life, and that's what soul
Mm-hmm.
is about, yeah. The change in
And
perspective, it's what it is. It is what
it's
it is.
really good.
Yeah.
I loved it a lot because first I didn't understand what the male Jerry said.
Yeah.
Like, a spark isn't the soul's purpose. And he didn't say like your purpose or your meanings of life. He just said a spark isn't the soul's purpose. You humans and your silly blah blah blah. That's all he
Yeah.
said. And I was like, what does he mean by that? And then it later
Yeah.
realized, oh, spark isn't the soul's purpose, but the realization that they're ready to live.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Like,
the spark. That's what I
mhm.
understood. A soul spark is when they want to start living. And 22 never had that spark because she tried everything. But her
Mm.
spark was that she found it when she was in Earth. Like girl had a test trial, like a free trial, 1 month guarantee.
I think it was
That
like
was
a
her
day,
spark.
trial.
Yeah, that was her spark, and it's just a really good reminder once again that there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with regular old living and worrying about the future because that's why they call it what did Master Ugwe say, like
That's why they call it the present. It's a gift.
because it's a
Something like
gift,
that.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have to say about that. So
Yeah.
okay, enough about regular old living and stuff like that. Let's talk about the zone because
Oh
that's another
yeah.
cool thing that I personally enjoyed seeing the representation of that.
It
Yeah.
was
What do you?
they
Mhm.
represented it in a very creative way, I must say.
Yeah, yeah. Just like I do have my own zone. Well, I'm gonna start now, and then you guys can say your zone. Because
Yeah.
when I get into the zone, it's when when I'm covering events with photography, or when I'm just behind the camera and I'm filming something. Like I really get in the zone of it, and I lose my sense of time and I get lost. Or when I'm biking or stuff like that. Like it's really cool, and always had that. And when I saw the animation start, when Joe was just in the classroom and he was already like getting in the zone, I was like, I know that feeling. I know that exactly that. It feels just like that, and it was just really great once again to see it visually, and people can also probably relate to it. So yeah, what's your zone, guys? What happens to you when you get in the zone?
I just wanted to mention I haven't watched this video yet, but it's in my to watch list. It
Yeah.
was titled "How to Get into the Zone." I don't know. I just wanted to share. It was pretty funny.
Oh.
Because okay, fine. Like I guess I know I can get into the zone sometimes, but it's like
Mhm.
how do I say this? It's like on like and it's never intentional, I guess. And like
Mhm.
but it usually tends to happen for me, at least when I was gonna say initially when I'm editing, but
Yeah.
I get easily distracted when I'm editing unless it's like
Yeah.
because it depends, because there are some things that you edit now you're super passionate and you enjoy, and in
Yeah.
those moments I guess it's easy to get lost in. But there's also those
Yeah.
na parang for requirements or for
Yeah.
something else lang na parang like you can get
Mhm.
by not being fully in the zone with.
Yeah. yeah.
Other than editing, I guess like drawing, like because
Hmm.
you have to really
Mm-hmm.
focus where you guide your hand and everything. What about you
Mm-hmm.
guys?
Um, my okay. The thing about the zone is that it's called the zone, and then in my head, because my head is very psych mode.
Mm-hmm.
In the zone in psych terms for me, in my understanding, is called flow, and there are actually 9 characteristics of flow. So I'm gonna
Interesting. Go
like
ahead.
lecture a little bit. So like to identify like what your flow or your zone is, it's like it can be an activity where one you're balancing between your skill level and
Mm-hmm.
the challenges that you're trying to make yourself improve on, and then
Uh-huh.
second is that it has to feel rewarding,
Mm-hmm.
and third is you have to have a clear goal to it, and then fourth is you have to receive immediate feedback on your progress, whether it's from a friend or whether it's from like you reviewing your own work. And then fifth is like sense of deep effortless involvement. Like that's what a flow should also be. Like
Mm-hmm.
it has to almost feel effortless. Like there has to be a
Yeah.
balance to your it's effortlessly bringing out your skills, but you're also feeling challenged with yourself so that you're also constantly moving and improving with
Yeah.
yourself. And then sixth is you have to be absorbed and focused in the moment, which is like what the
Exactly.
zone
That
is
one.
like.
Yeah.
And then seven is you're not concerned with what others are thinking about, or you're not concerned with being judged. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you're in the zone, you don't ever pay attention to like judgments or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then eight is of course you still have a sense of control while it's organized. Like what you said, Josh, you're
Mm-hmm.
drawing, so like you have control over like the pen or something.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ninth one is basically time feeling distorted. So
Yeah,
something, yeah,
there.
like yeah,
You lose sense of time, and it's just really cool that way.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess sorry that's just like wanted to bring out the
Oh no, thank you, thank
psychology
you.
in it. So
You
yeah,
never know. It's
but
nice
I
to hear those.
guess hmm?
It's
Sorry.
nice to hear those things because it's like thanks to scientific research, it kind of
Yeah,
makes it feel more concrete. The zone, the flow, that kind of
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah. I guess you can probably guess what my zone is or like my flow is, since I keep rambling in this podcast or like any podcast.
Mm-hmm.
My flow zone kind of thing is when I oh man, I made a whole essay about this in school, and I'm still
It's
kind
hard
of
to
like
explain.
hesitant. It's hard to
What is
explain.
it?
Wait, hold on. I don't want to bring up the essay. I won't bring up the essay. Okay. Basically, it's when I theorize or critique, or when I focus on the characters in media. Like,
Cool.
like I'm such a big film
Unpack.
enthusiast, or like a TV show enthusiast, like media. Media that I can consume, and
Yeah.
any kind of type that I enjoy, I immediately kind of hyperfixate on it, and I watch or read and I research any available material on it. I delve into like fan fiction, fan theories,
Rabbit hole.
the behind the scenes kind of stories, and I
Yeah.
try to like understand more of what the creators took into account when creating their story. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess part of that flow or that zone area is when I also discourse or
Mm-hmm.
discuss with other people. So yeah, basically
Mm-hmm.
this whole kind of podcast is like me in the zone. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say.
Nice. Thank you, thank you. I do have to share. I feel like you guys seen those memes or tweets when people are like, whenever I open a Google Docs, I just let the ghost of academia possess me. Have
Mm.
you guys seen that? I feel like that's also another. This is my theory. It's like their own flow or zone. Like they get in the
Mm-hmm.
zone of it, and it's just a different name, the ghost of academia. So that's another thing I wanted to.
Mm.
That's a little thought I thought of, but yeah.
But that's a good comparison.
Mhm.
I like that comparison, because I also have those moments where when I want to write a paper, or when I'm
Yeah.
doing like an assignment for work, and I don't know what to do, like how to structure my thoughts, I just
Mhm.
ignore the whole structure moment of it and I just
Yeah.
dump
Yeah,
everything.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Brain dump. I love those kinds of moments.
It's fun. All right.
Okay.
So we're nearing the end.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go through this
If
last
you
one.
got through this far, thank you,
Yes,
I
thank
guess. But
you.
yeah.
This next part of the podcast is gonna be about a message about growing up, because it is also, I mean, like in every Pixar Disney movie, there will be a message about growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So we
So
can talk about this, like, no, I guess maybe our 20s, like how we are in our 20s and how we might imagine ourselves in our 30s. Maybe we can talk about it that way or any
yeah.
other way. So, yeah.
Who wants to
Are
start?
we
Just some below, wait lang.
gonna bring up the question?
That's all
How
about.
how how do you think your life's purpose is, your whole life? Or something like
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we could ask, like, I have an idea. What was,
what did you want to be when you grew up?
what did you want to be when you grew up, and what did you realize now about
Mm.
that? Yeah. I'll say it again so that it's cleaner. How about, so the message is about growing up in the movie Soul, and I was wondering with you guys, given that we're a bit older now, what did you guys want to be when you grow up, or when you realized you wanted to be who you want to be when you grow up, and where you are now, probably like better to where you want to be in the future when you're successful or something like that. What did you think before, like then and now?
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
Well,
I'm actually curious with Josh because did you want it to be anything other than like an aspiring filmmaker?
when I was a
Yeah.
kid, I was like, oh, I want to be a doctor. But
Oh.
Yeah.
I realized I'm not really good with math. I mean, I liked science, but like, it was never like something too high level, I guess. But yeah, I just, parang I didn't like study. I mean, okay, studying is fine, but like I didn't like studying things I wasn't interested in. So I kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
realized that I didn't want to be a doctor. So
Mhm.
I was like, I like film. I like watching movies, like like the creative
Yeah,
aspect of it. I was like, I think I
so
can do
fun.
this. I mean,
Yeah.
not saying that it's easy. It's still hard. Like I'm struggling now, but it's
For
like,
to do this.
yeah, it's like something that I'm at least not. It's something at least that compared to like being a doctor or something. I'm pretty sure I'd be hating life right now. Like I really don't
Mhm.
like just sitting down, reading, memorizing. Like I want to be able to be hands on. Learn as you go
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. So yeah. That being said, though, I honestly expected that I'd be working right now, but like, I yeah, because of K to 12, I guess circumstances and stuff. Like, I still feel like a kid, if that makes sense. Like, even though I'm
Mhm. And that's a good thing.
gonna be
Hold on to
21
that,
next
man.
week, next week,
Yeah.
next month. I mean, sorry. So old. But yeah.
All right,
So
welcome to
old,
the
you're still
club.
in school. Sit down, son.
Okay, man, it's fine. It's fine.
Uh.
Yeah, enjoy it while you still have it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Other than that, I guess like I honestly expected that when I was a kid, when I was a kid, I thought that I'd be, I'd have a work, I'd have work by the time I was 20, I'd be married by 25 or 26. But like now that I'm here, I'm like,
Oh.
yeah, that's not gonna happen. I need time. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, and let's not pressure ourselves. Like,
yeah, like right now I'm just like, another quote I read before was like, because there was this, I forgot who it was, but basically somebody asked them, do you have the rest of your life planned out? And they basically just said that no, because like that's the part of fun of life is like
yeah,
tackling it as it goes and
figuring it out.
everything. Yeah, because
Mhm.
like parang it's like a story, right? Like if you know the ending already, then it's like spoiling it. So
Or bother. Yeah,
enjoy
Ooh,
it as it
true,
goes.
true.
so
So
nice.
yeah, I mean that being said, I still want to be a filmmaker and everything. We'll see. If I can get those goals or if I can reach those goals
Mhm.
at soon, then yay. If it takes a while,
Okay.
then I'll get there. But honestly, like, I probably shouldn't be saying this live live, but because I wanted to be a filmmaker like as soon as I graduate, but like had, parang I kind of fell in love with like editing and like post prod
Mm-hmm.
animating. So I might wanna
Mm-hmm.
give that a try first, like just being an animator
Yeah.
for like a few years, uh, before like moving into a directorial role. Who knows? Maybe my first feature film will be an animation movie. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'd like to think like, hey, maybe being in post prod is being a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
think it's
are
still in
already.
that. Mhm.
If you are part of making the film, you are a filmmaker.
Yeah, you're still part of the
I
process and
agree with
everything.
that.
And
Yeah.
like honestly, the director job is like, okay, it's one of those like the same as Soul, I guess. Like it's his name Joe wanting to perform, and like as soon as he got there, it's like he felt the same. Like for me with directing, at least, it's like I figured now once I get to direct something, like everything will be smooth, like I'd be happy.
Yeah.
But honestly, like the director job isn't everything I hoped it would be. It's like it's very stressful. It's it's a
Lot
lot
of
of things. Yeah, it's a lot of managing, and I'm not good at managing stuff if you guys know me. So, I feel like I need time to, like ease into it if ever I'm even gonna be like the director, or if I'm just gonna be like an
Yeah.
animator ahead, any part of a
It's
production
not
at
a
least.
bad thing.
Yeah, it's not a bad
It's
thing.
not a bad
Like
thing.
people, it's
Yeah.
still a good job. But yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes, okay, last part, sorry. I know I kind of rambled.
It's
Uh
okay.
It's okay, man.
Let it
I
out.
it's just, people really, well, a lot of people measure success by how much you earn, I guess. And I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like it's not like, we should think about it as much. I mean, it's still money, like it helps put food in your table, it helps you help other people, money is good.
Yeah.
But it's just,
Mm.
I hope na that's not like, just because you didn't get the highest paying job is, you're a failure already. Which,
Yeah.
I get that some people aren't as lucky as, so, kasi I know a lot of friends that have parents who are like pushing them to be someone they don't want to be. And yeah, that's
Oh
all.
yeah.
I don't know if I answered the
Thank you
question.
for sharing. You did. Yeah. How about you, Annika?
What did I wanted to be so many things in my childhood.
Mm.
I remember even like I had a marine biologist phase in grade 6, I believe. And then
Mm-hmm.
I was really set on animation. I was really set on
Oh.
animation, and I had this whole project and per presentation in school on
Mm-hmm.
how quote unquote I have to claim it, or I have to quote unquote manifest that
Mm-hmm.
I'm claiming my future as an animator. And I was thinking of working in I had like a goal. I had to present like my plan in 10 years. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I see myself in Cal Arts. I see myself working in Disney Animation Studios and all that stuff. Wait, walk didn't happen. I took up psych, and
Mm-hmm.
I realized that I took on the psych path because when I was applying to colleges, I had to you give them 3 courses, right? To
Yeah.
as your no. My first choice was communication arts, but
Ooh.
I didn't get that, and I got AB psych, and I was happy with both. I really wanted actually to major in both, or like double major in both genuinely, but I heard that you can't do that. And then suddenly, just as I graduated, they opened the double majors. Whatever, it's fine.
Fine. It's alright.
And but yeah, I stuck with psych, and for 4-ish years, I thought that was what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But post grad life, ooh, the irony of the freedom that you can do anything and be anything, and like you're out of school, and you're really not limited by boundaries anymore. So you have so much responsibilities. You have so much control over
Mhm.
your own life, and it was daunting after getting
Mhm.
out of school and post grad life. I s- Post grad life. I really didn't expect this to be my life now.
Mhm.
Panorama. Why you like this? The panini bread, the coronavirus. Why? Um. Yeah. I took a long week to think about what is it that I
Mhm.
wanted to do post grad life and what I wanted to do like approaching my 30s. No, I'm not 30s.
Mhm.
I just started my 20s. Sorry, don't
Yeah.
think that I'm old. But yeah, now I really just feel like my 20s are slipping away from me, especially since I'm
Mhm.
so stuck here at home and I I'm s- I'm it's so unfair. It's so unfair, and I cried so hard watching Soul because when Joe had like his second chance to step outside and live his life, like that ending scene, it killed me. It killed
Beautiful.
me inside how I couldn't step outside and do just that. Like, I
Yeah.
really wanted to go out, and I wanted to just enjoy and
Good.
explore, do things that makes me happy. But I had to wait. I have to wait.
We
I
all do.
but the
Yeah.
problem is with me is that I'm just so restless. It's who I am.
Mhm.
I'm a little ball of anxiety and I just want to do everything that I want to do, but I can't. Like my situation doesn't allow me to do so. So I really thought for a long time, what can I do with the time that I'm given now? Because
Mhm.
if I keep crying about my future and how I'm feeling as if I'm slipping away from it,
Mhm.
I'm going to forget all the things that can make me happy now, which is what I'm trying to do now. So
Yeah.
at the moment, um, what was the question
It was like, what did you want to be when you
again?
did
Yeah.
before,
And
and
then
what?
how did I realize what I wanted to
Then
do?
and then and
Oh yeah,
now.
I'll give you that answer when I'm feeling it. But right now, the path that I have on, doing
Yeah.
my getting my
Mm.
building my psych experience, volunteering with mental health organizations,
Yeah.
which I need to get back to.
Mhm.
That's how I'm building up to my psych career, the career for my psychology side. But right now,
Podcaster.
marketing, yeah, marketing, podcasting, it's very much in the path. I'm kind of all over the place, and I've kind of learned that maybe just do what makes you happy. Yeah, it's a
Nice.
mess.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
okay. I'm also. It's a weird thing that I'm doing right now as well. And thank you for your answers, and I'll share mine.
yeah.
Um, Before when I was a kid, like maybe it's still a secret. It's a secret, but I'm gonna tell. I wanna be a Broadway singer.
Ooh,
Ooh.
a
But
songerist. Love that.
yeah, I know I'm really far from that. But then I really I was set on it. But then I realized I don't think I'm cut out to be like even in the Philippines on theater. I don't have the skill set because I didn't get to practice it, and I think it's okay. I know a lot of my friends who sing way better than me, and I'm so proud of them. And I asked them to teach me. I realized okay, that passion of singing is good for me, being making myself feel better about it. It's just a way for me to release tension and anxiety. Then I wanted to be an archaeologist, and that was
Ooh.
fun because I watched a bunch of Tomb Raider, Indiana Jones, stuff like that. And I was so, excuse me, I was so into Animal Planet, Nat Geo, and Discovery Channel. Then I realized, you know what? I think all of this is because I love media. I love pop culture. I love Disney and everything like that. And I realized as I was growing up, I kept watching 80s movies, 90s movies, and all of that, and it comforted me. And I'm like Katie Mitchell from Mitchell's versus the Machines, where movies was really all I had growing up in high school. Because sometimes I had friends. I love my friends. Sometimes I felt a little out of place because I didn't watch the K-dramas that they were watching. I wasn't watching the movies or shows they were watching. I watched my own thing. And then slowly when I met my other friend, also named Anica, when I realized like, oh, I want to also be in film. Like, and then we got commissioned by the school to make like an ad, and it was like a really ragtag thing and I was like, I think I want to do this. I want to do film, and that's all I did. Like, all I thought of was like, I love film, and it became like Joe, who's like, music is all I think about from the moment I wake up in the morning to the moment I fall asleep at night. That was me, and ever since finished thesis, it kind of stopped. Like in my brain, I just stopped thinking about film. Actually, I didn't want to watch another movie. I didn't want to touch my camera, and it was really weird. And I was like, oh, maybe is this burnout? Is this me? I don't know. It was weird, and this is me now, where I'm like, it's really okay. Like what I said a while ago. Like take a step back. Who were you before you wanted to be whatever you wanted to be? And yeah, that's what I wanted to share. Like, this is growing up where a lot of the time people will tell you like, who do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? And you just focus on that. But they never really tell you like, even with all the paths that you've taken when you're in college, like, okay, I'm gonna take this course because it's close to who I wanna be when I grow up. And then when you're done, like when I was done, I was like, I still know what I wanna be, but then I'm still afraid to do it. It's weird to say. But then where I am right now is like, let me take a step back and figure out what else I want to do. Yeah. Message here is that, yeah, we just shared a bunch of our life stories. It's really like, really going back to what Joe Gardner said, like, it was all about music. It's all he made himself believe. Made himself believe that music is all you should think about, or whatever your passion is all you should think about. But part of growing up is realizing that, you know, you can really let yourself relax a bit, and then it's not really all that you should think about. You know, if it's about life isn't music. Life isn't movies. It's life.
Yeah, and it's like, you don't always have to chase your passion, especially if it
All the
changes
time.
you. Like, especially if it changes as you grow older.
Yeah.
Like, it's very hard to just chase things as what you think that you'll enjoy as a kid, and of course you change as you grow older. So like, but you, of course, you can always, if your passion still keeps you happy, I don't think you should also ignore it.
Drop it.
It's okay to juggle both, as what Joe probably is doing. I mean, probably is doing. He did, yeah. He was good at teaching, but his passion was piano and jazz, and he kind of incorporated the two into a day job.
And day job, and a night job, I guess.
Job, yeah.
Yeah,
he's still part of the quartet. I think I feel like so like after the movie, I still think he's still stuck to that gigging with Dorothea.
Honestly, I feel like that's the most ideal life to me. Like, if I was Joe, I'd be already super happy that in the daytime, are you kidding? I get to teach kids how much I love about music, and maybe make someone like Curly, or inspire someone to be like Curly, and then I get to do my favorite thing at night. Isn't that so cool? And I think him thinking like getting the gig was the biggest payoff. It's actually what happens after, where he does get that double life, which I think is like the
pretty good life. Yeah,
better payoff in my opinion. Yeah, it's so great.
Yeah, and I guess I just really like how also the barber Des says in his barber shop after he cuts Joe's hair, and he was saying like he never planned on being a barber, even if he was so good at it. Like, Joe kept saying, "Oh, this dude was made to be a barber. He was born to be a barber." But Des really wanted to be a veterinarian, right? But of course, things change, plans interfere, and he had to pick another career. But he he believes that he's still happy, like he's super happy with his job. He loves his job because, as what he said, that he gets to meet interesting people like Joe and make them happy and make them handsome and all that stuff. Like you will find joy. If you stick to what you're if you do what makes you happy, I'm sure you'll be okay. No one, as what Mr. Styles said, if you're doing what makes you happy, no one can tell you any different. No one can tell you that, oh, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to be like that. Yeah, that's all. Anything else to add?
You guys covered a lot, but I guess like last thing to add, at least with what Des said, it's like, I guess like a lot of us go through our lives like not, I guess, like scared of, I think I relate to this na rin with what I said earlier, na a lot of people are scared of like giving up their, the thing they've been chasing for so long, because they spend so much time with it. But like at the same time, maybe letting go is like the best thing that could happen to you. And if you're happy with that, then fair play. That's very fine. Guess that's all.
You want to take it away, Nala, and end us off if you have any last words?
I guess I wanted to ask also you guys, like, what are your main takeaways in the story, in our conversation? Any of you can go first.
Yeah. Main takeaway. You go first, Anica. I need time to think.
Okay, putting me on the spot.
Yes.
It's fine. It's fine. I got this. Well, my main takeaway, I guess, is Soul is such a beautiful movie that anyone of any age should watch, and I definitely recommend that they should watch. And I like how it's also it's a film targeted for kids, but the adults are the ones that took a lot from it too and whatnot. But I guess to mention the mental health stuff, the growing up stuff, I think that where we're at now, the whole world is still in chaos. And I hope like everyone, if ever you do watch Soul, I hope like at least people can remember like, hey, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to slow down on your journey and just be mindful. Like, don't forget to be mindful of where you're at, of your emotions, of your feelings. Give yourself the break and the rest that you deserve, because the future is unknown. The future can change. Your passion can change, and it's okay if you don't get where you are, as long as you're happy with what you're doing. I'm always gonna bring up Mr. Styles or like that quote, just because it's just, I want that tattooed on me. Yeah, so yeah, if you're happy doing what you're doing, then no one else can tell you that you're not successful. That's my takeaway. How about you guys?
For me at least, okay. I don't wanna. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to mention that I'm not really, used to giving out inspiring speech. At least.
That's what you can also just like say what you learned, like your main takeaway.
I mean, I guess like for me at least, we're, I guess me and I guess us na rin, like we're often too blinded by the main goal, that we often forget to live in the moment, appreciate the I guess like we're alive, and get to be able to do all these things, and just we can enjoy life. And I feel like like we're sorry, Siri. Oak. Was gonna say again, sorry. Like living is part, like living in the moment is living. So yeah,
we love alarms.
It's sleepy time.
What about you?
Okay, sorry. What was the last thing you wanted to say? I think my alarm cut you off.
Oh no, I just said like living for working towards your goal is fine, but don't forget to live in the moment. So yeah, that is all. What about you, Nala?
Mine is Soul is a movie that really opens to many discussions. Like, I guess we were like more we just scratched the tip of the iceberg, and it's just really interesting because it's one of those films I feel like you can watch at different stages in your life, like you're a kid, in your teens, 20s, 30s, blah blah blah. It's really interesting, and I feel like you can really go back to it and learn, take in something new, which is always good in any medium or art form. And it just taught me to, like, hey kid, you can chase your dreams. It's really fine, but don't let it consume you. You gotta be open to change, because especially now, in a time that changed everything, where we can't go outside, and everything is kind of at the stop. We're all discombobulated. We have no idea what's gonna happen. You gotta be open to it, because if you keep telling yourself, if I keep telling myself, like, I can't be this person I promised myself to be, just because I can't go out, then I'm always gonna be stuck in the past and regretting, instead of trying to make something right now. So yeah, be open to change, and remember that you can have the power to change it up, go back to where you want to be, move forward. But all in all, just try to not lose yourself. Yeah.
That's true.
Very
I
well
agree.
said.
Good. Nice
Thank
way
you.
to end this
Yeah.
beautiful podcast. Thank you guys for indulging me in the talk of soul, and thank you for participating in mental health awareness month.
Yay.
Thank you
Take
as
care of
well.
It's nice
yourself.
participating.
Okay.
Participating in your own
Okay, so-
podcast.
Yes. I mean, okay, like I feel like
In mental health.
at least, with the podcast, I've never really had, like, I guess, people to, like, actively talk about mental health with, like, this before. So, it's nice.
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, you're with Nala and me. We are huge advocates for mental health, and we talk about
Oh,
these
yeah.
kinds of things all the time.
Yes,
Don't worry,
indeed.
we're here for you. All right. So I think that's all we have for the Soul episode of Popcorn Chatter.
Make sure to check the Popcorn Chatter Facebook page and follow for more updates on the next episode, which is all about Mitchells versus the Machines. We will try to get, a couple of guests on for next episode. So, be stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that. There you go. Yeah, I feel like we have a few people in mind already.
Yeah.
And we're very excited about this, so stay tuned. So yeah, links are in the description. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Anchor, or whichever platform you listen to your podcasts. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Don't you mean YubTub?
Yep.
Thank you
It's
for sorry. Thank you for listening. We hope you stay tuned for more episodes. So see y'all next time.
Oh, and hold on. Thanks, Nala.
Oh yeah, thank you, Nala.
Thank you, Nala, for joining us again.
Thank you as well for having me.
It's been a very insightful episode, at least for me, and
Yeah,
I guess
and-
to whoever listens to this episode. So yeah.
I hope, yeah. Anyway, I hope I feel like we will see you soon as well. You'll hear more from Nala most likely in the future episodes. So yeah. Thank you for listening.
Thank
See
you.
you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.